What is up, everybody? Welcome to week number 2 of my NBA breakdown. A day later than I wanted it, but it's here nonetheless. So, yeah, I was a day late. I don't know if any of you watched the last one. But if you did, you know how this is going to work. I'm going to go over the game of the week, one game performances, MVP leaderboard, Rookie of the Year leaderboard, and then some more on the dark side, more disappointing teams and disappointing players, and then finish it off with my power rankings. But yeah, let's start off with the game of the week. There were a lot of great games, and no, this does not include Sunday's games, yesterday's games. It's anywhere from the 27th of December to the 2nd of January, that week, from that Sunday to Saturday. So this does not include what games happened last night. This does not include the Celtics-Pacers game where the Celtics won. The Lakers-Grizzlies game, Steph's 62-point game, none of those games are included. But the games that are included, I picked out 4 of them there were a lot that made the game of the week, but 4 of them really stood out to me. Starting off with the first game of the week, Dallas versus Los Angeles Clippers. It's not the game of the week because it was close, but for the exact opposite. Like, they lost by 51 points. 51 points. To the Dallas Mavericks with a Luka that's struggling from 3 and without a Kristaps. This just looks bad. It looks horrible for the Clippers. Yes, they didn't have Kawhi, but is Kawhi going to make a 50-point difference in that game? Maybe through like the butterfly effect, but still, it's the likelihood that Kawhi changes something, that's actually pretty high. But anyway, Kawhi wasn't there. They lost by 50. So, yeah, that just due to the fact that the Los Angeles Clippers lost by 50, they get mentioned. Next, the Warriors versus the Bulls. Damian Lee's game-winning 3. That was the game where we finally saw what the Warriors are capable of. When Steph Curry finally had a great game. Like the games we expected him to have. When Andrew Wiggins had a good game. The only problem for the Warriors was Zach LaVine had a great game. Lauri Markkanen had a great game, and it came down to a Damian Lee three-pointer for the win. Warriors take it 129-128. That one was a very good game. Another very good game, Celtics versus Pacers, where the Pacers won 108 versus the Celtics 107. I think this was the first game, if I am not mistaken, where T.J. Warren, like the Pacers without T.J. Warren, if I'm not mistaken, I very well could be, but I also can't find the game. No, that's not it. Can't find the game that I'm looking for. Well, anyway, it was a great game for Domantas Sabonis. Looked like a great player in the NBA. Absolutely dominated that game. So it was December 27th. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so caught up on this, but yeah, Domantas Sabonis looked like an absolute beast in that game. Where's the stat line? There it is. Yeah, Domantas. Okay, no, this is their last game, I think, with T.J. Warren. But it was Brogdon who had the great game. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Sabonis still had a good game at 19 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and the game-winning bucket. That was a great game overall. Unfortunate ending, but a great game overall, and the Celtics did get their revenge. And the final game I want to mention is the Trailblazers 115 versus Lakers 107, that game. It was amazing to watch. Granted, I didn't watch all of it. I watched the halfway through the third quarter to the fourth quarter. Still, really fun to watch. It was a great game. I liked the ending of that one because Lakers suck. But yeah, those were my top 4 games of the week. Now, on to one-game performances. Starting off, I I had over a page on Google Docs. Had over a page. I zoomed out all the way to 50%. I could not see every single name under the one game performance list. Like either there were a lot of good games and like no real great games, or just everyone had a great game depending on how you look at it. But the best of the best this week, in my opinion, was Jaylen Brown's 42 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal game on great shooting too. 15 of 21 from the field, 7 of 10 from 3, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line, which led him to a plus 22 in the plus minus. An absolutely amazing game from Jaylen Brown. Next would be Caris LeVert's game. He didn't have the best of shooting, which is something I typically take into account. But 28 points, 11 assists, 5 steals, and 4 rebounds with the plus 7 and the plus minus. A great game from Caris LeVert. He gets the second spot on this. And finally, I love triple doubles, and it came down to 2 of them, Jokic's and Giannis's. One of Jokic's and Giannis's. I went with Jokic's though. The 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 18 assists. It's hard for me to fathom someone getting 18 assists, like almost having more assists than points. I know there have been a lot of times to do it, but that's like among the best passers in history, like Scott Skiles, John Stockton. Well, Scott Skiles might not be one of the best passers, but John Stockton I think he had 28 a game. Like it's been done before, but like the fact that a center is doing this is just absolutely amazing. Jokic is built different, but he's like Steve Nash, but like big, like foot taller, 2,000 pounds heavier. Anyway, he also had 3 steals and a block on very good shooting as well. 8 of 11 from the field, but 1 of 1 from the 3-point line, and 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Had 3 turnovers, which is not bad, and a plus 20 in the plus minus. So, compiling all those great games, having those great games really helps when it comes to this MVP leaderboard. Granted, my current MVP has not been mentioned on the one game performances, but it's still a beast. There's a lot of very deserving players just to be in the conversation. But yeah, I'm just gonna give you my top 5 for now. And I think just start at number 5. And for me, number 5 is LeBron James. 23.8 points per game, 8 rebounds basically, 7 assists, 3.5 turnovers per game, 1.5 very good numbers. And shooting's about average. So at number 5, I have LeBron James, playing very well. He's the leader of this team still, because Anthony Davis has been inconsistent at times. Like he's had games where he scored 30 points and like a 30-point double-double. There's been games where he scored 7, around there. I don't know the exact line, but Anthony Davis has been great and bad times, but LeBron James has been fairly consistent, scoring 23.8 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 7.3 assists. Great numbers. Turnovers, even though they're at 3.5, it's not bad by any means. It is the highest, I think. No, it's not even close to the highest. It's right in the middle of these top 5. But what really helps is that 1.2 steals per game, looking great. His shooting is a little iffy. It's not bad by any means. It's good. It's respectable. 45.1% from the field, 36.8% from 3, and 77.1% from the line. Like you can't leave him open, but I would rather leave him open than say Wesley. Well, not Wesley Matthews. He's not good. I don't know. I guess Kuz, maybe even AD, but LeBron James not doing bad. Like it's all respectable stuff. At number 4, Nikola Jokic, 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, 13 assists. Insane. Like it's a triple double. A man won an MVP based off a triple double. But why Jokic isn't winning that MVP is because his team's 1-5. Yeah, but turnovers 5, not great. But steals 1.4, love it, and shooting very well, 60.9% from the field, 46.7% from the 3, and 80% from the line. great. And even though his team's 1-5, Jokic still has a plus 1.4. So very good stats from Jokic, but his team needs to start winning if he wants to seriously compete for the MVP. At number 3, James Harden, 37 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. It's great numbers. One thing that hurts him for me is his plus minus. Even though the Rockets are 500, Harden is a negative 3.3 while on the court. As a star, you can't have that. You need to be in the positives, as you'll see with our top 2. They are very, very high into the positives. But yeah, Harden had a negative 3.3. Not great. Shooting's great though. 52.5, 45.5, and then 88.9. So yeah, Harden falls in at number 3, and then number 2, 1 and 2, just about dead even. 1A, 1B. It's the same thing with what you see with the rookies. But sorry about that. Yeah, Kevin Durant is number 2. 28.2 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, and 4.4 assists per game. Great numbers in a bounce back year for Durant. 3 turnovers, not bad. And 1.4 steals, good. I love it. 1 block per game, like it. Like you are 7 feet, but you're small forward, power forward, so it's acceptable. But 50-40-90 club. In fact, 50-50-90 club. 51.1% from the field, 50% from 3, and 90% from the line. Great numbers from Durant. And talking about the plus minus, plus 12.8 while on the court. Absolutely amazing. Sorry. Important stuff. Next, Joel Embiid is my MVP. Why? Because his team's winning. His team is 5-1. Like that, and when you look at the other teams that are in the top in the East, top in the West, who has the best stats? Embiid. 25 points per game, 12.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 2.8 turnovers, so dead even there. 0.8 steals per game, not great, but not bad. But 1.4 blocks per game, love it. And then shooting great, 53.9%, 40% from the 3, and 80.4% from the free throw line. But talking about the plus minus, 14.6 plus while on the court. Starting off the rookie of the year, I have Deni Avdija at number 5. He's averaging 7.8 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and only 0.7 turnovers per game. Absolutely amazing numbers there. But what's even better, I think, is the 1.3 steals per game. Just off the wing, looking great for Avdija. Only 0.2 blocks per game, not bad, not good. Well, it is kind of bad. But yeah, he's shooting very well as well. 51.5% from the field and 47.6% from 3. 60% from the line isn't great, but the plus minus of 8.7 on this Wizards team, I think is absolutely amazing, and hence why he's at number 5 instead of just being out of it in general. Number 4, I have Tyrese Halliburton, 10.6 points per game, 2 rebounds, 4.4 assists per game, which I believe I had an extra day, still didn't find out. 4.4 assists, I believe, is first among rookies, with only 0.8 turnovers per game, which is only 0.1 more than Avdija. And Tyrese Halliburton's handling the ball a lot more, I think, than Avdija is. 1 steal per game, really good. 0.4 blocks per game, good for a guard. While shooting very well as well, shooting better than Avdija. 53% from the field, 50% from 3, and 87.5% from the line, with a plus 0.8 plus minus, which isn't great, but he's the leader of the bench. The Kings don't have the deepest bench, so that would be where they would lose, where like games would get closer with the Kings. But Halliburton looking like the steal of the draft right now, I think. And then the top 3, you have your top 3 NBA draft picks. But at number 3, I have LaMelo Ball, 11.5 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 4.2 assists, very good right there. 2.3 turnovers, not bad. It's gonna happen when you're playing on the bench with the Hornets bench. You're gonna get turnovers, especially as the point guard. But 1.8 steals, great, and half a block, very good numbers right there. Field goal shooting, not great, 42.1, but 3-point, 42.3%. I'll absolutely take that from LaMelo. That's very good. 71.4% from the free throw line, not bad, with a negative 2.5. But again, playing with the bench that the Hornets have. I love the Hornets, but it's just their bench isn't great like the Kings, so I'm not surprised he has a negative there. But if he can get that up to like a positive plus minus, then absolutely he's in contention for this Rookie of the Year award. But with that being said, these other two do have negatives in the plus minus. Their numbers are just a little bit better, in my opinion, and they've been more consistent. At number 2, I have Anthony Edwards. It's very close. It's practically 1A, 1B. If you have Anthony Edwards at first, I'm not upset. He would very much deserve this. 15.4 points per game, at 2.4 rebounds, at 1.8 assists. That's the thing that hurts him quite a bit, is the rebounds and assists, along with his shooting, 42.3% from the field, 31% from 3, and 70% from the line. They're not great numbers. I get he's a rookie. I hope he can improve those. But because of the percentages and the assists and rebounds, he falls in at number 2. And Wiseman at number 1, 11.6 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, 0.2 assists per game, not great. In fact, the rebounds aren't great. I would want them up. But one thing that sells me on Wiseman being rookie of the year is the blocks. 1.6 blocks per game, which is towards the top in the league, I believe. I think Miles Turner is leading the league in blocks right now. I'm going to try and find out real quick. But still, 1.6 blocks per game is absolutely amazing. Oh, shoot. I thought it wasn't going to load, but it actually did. Defensive, rebounds. Okay, it's not towards the top. The top. But he's tied for 8th in the league with Mitchell Robinson. Granted, that is including this last game. So it would have he would have been at 9th in the league, which top 10 in blocks as a rookie is absolutely absurd. Like, well, maybe not absurd, but still very good. And right now he gets my Rookie of the Year vote, and this absolutely will change. Well, I don't know, sure, it might not change, but it absolutely could change by next week. That's why I'm doing this weekly. But on to some more lower notes. Most disappointing team, it's very close between the Wizards and the Nuggets, so I'm just going to talk about both of them. For the Wizards, they had so much. Both teams had so much. Yeah, both teams had so much. How many times do I say both teams have so much potential coming into this? Wizards had a lot of hype with Russ and Beal. We did think it would take some time to figure out how it's going to work. We didn't think it was going to take this much time. They're 1-5, with their one win coming in a game where Russ didn't play. But in the games where Russ does play, he gets his triple-double. It's like Russ and Beal are playing very well. Just like Nikola Jokic is playing very well. Michael Porter Jr. playing pretty well. But still, they're not getting wins. I don't know how to change that. I don't know what the Wizards or Nuggets should do. But I do know they're struggling, and something needs to happen soon. Like, real fast, in order if they want to get back into, I guess there is 66 more games to go. But yeah, before they get too far, before this starts to snowball, they need to figure things out. And because they both have a lot of potential. Like, they both have a lot of young pieces that can do great things for them. Like, the Nuggets, we all know, is built around young pieces. The Wizards just might compete with the Kings for the steal of the draft with Avdija. But yeah, right now they are my most disappointing team, not just for this week, but for the entire year overall. The same with this next most disappointing player. They've had disappointing performances, which is it's the real reason why they're here, not their collection as a whole. Like, Luka Doncic is on here, but that's because he's struggling from 3. Like, we all expected him to be an MVP caliber player, but instead he's shooting 16.1% from 3. That's atrocious. Shaq would be disappointed shooting 16.1% from 3. Chuck would be disappointed shooting 16.1% from 3. And Luka Doncic is shooting 16.1% from 3. it's bad. And that's like a lot of people, including me, had him as our MVP. Yeah, right now it's not looking like he's the MVP. It could absolutely change. Maybe with Kristaps in there, the floor spacing just not there. He's trying to do too much. He just needs to relax. The Mavericks are doing fine, but once he just relaxes, he'll be fine. He'll get into the MVP race. But speaking of the Clippers, Paul George is not here for the game against the Mavericks. 15 points. That's it. When you're the leading scorer, or when you're the lead guy on this Clippers team, how do you only score 15 points against the Mavericks? How? Yeah, you're on here, Paul George. Jamal Murray is back to not bubble Murray. It's not looking great for him. He hasn't played very well. But yeah, so he finds himself on the list. And finally, Jimmy Butler. 2 points. 2 points. Come on, man. That's just... Yeah, okay. Enough about that stuff. Into the power rankings. Something new this week. When I do post, like, go 5 at a time, when you do see that my rankings, like, I have them, just a second you'll see, but on the right hand side there will be a column with, titled LW, stands for last week. It'll have where they ranked last week, and if it is in green, that means they improved their spot. If it is in red, that means they have gone down, if that makes sense. If not, let me know. I can change it for next week. But yeah, let's start off with the top 5. At number 1, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel's my MVP. It only seems right I put him at number 1. They just win. They're winning. Yeah, and they're dangerous. Like, I don't even think, like, Ben Simmons hasn't been playing well this year. They're not at their full potential. Okay, this 76ers team will be deadly in the playoffs. I hope. Well, I don't hope. I think they will be deadly in the playoffs, but are looking very good this year, and so they improved 5 spots. Next, the Los Angeles Lakers at number 2. I had them at number 3. They're a very good team. They're scary good. I watching the game against the Timberwolves, I got scared for the rest of the NBA. Like, Anthony Davis didn't play great, but that's okay. We'll just get Kyle Kuzma to have his first half records. We'll get LeBron to have a great... This team is just so dangerous. Like, it's going to be hard to stop them. But a team that apparently is not hard to stop, the Los Angeles Clippers. All you got to do is take out Kawhi, and you win by 50. Yeah, they're in here at number 3. Still, very good team. But yeah, they're not deserving of that number 1 spot where I had them last week. At number 4, the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, I know, I might be getting into the hype a little bit too much. But if you go and look at their stat line from their last game, I'm trying to pull it up just so I don't miss anything. The game against the Raptors. Okay, the Raptors have been bad. But like, their starting 5. Brandon Ingram, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Zion, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Steven Adams, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Lonzo, 13, 4 and 4. Eric Bledsoe, 19 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. Josh Hart, 9 rebounds, 9 points, 8 rebounds. JJ Redick, 5 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Jackson Hayes, 6 points, 8 rebounds. This team can attack you from anywhere. Yes, it is only 6 games. But you can't deny this team is the potential, the fact that, like, it's not just potential, it's actually happening. Like, we're seeing great Pelicans basketball under Van Gundy. This team is scary. And I don't want to play I would not want to play them in the playoffs in the first round. That would terrify me. They're in here at number 4. but even though they are number 2 in the West, but number 1 in the West, Phoenix Suns. Like they're very even with the Pelicans. Um, they're a very well-rounded team. Like every single game you look at, they're top 3. Like I think their most recent one against the Nuggets on Friday. DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, 22 points. Chris Paul, 21. Okay, let's find another one against the Jazz where they won 106-95. Devin Booker, 25. Ayton actually didn't. That's actually a bad example, but Chris Paul, 11 and 8. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. I guess that's kind of just their big 3. I typically plays pretty well. That was a bad example, but against the Pelicans, they did destroy them. So maybe I should put them ahead of the Pelicans, but nah, I'm gonna keep the Pelicans there just because they look scarier to me. But yeah, I think now the Suns are finally hitting their stride. Against the Nuggets, really proved that at any point, like it could be all 3 of them, but in the past it has proven just like one of them they still win. This team is very good. Their bench is a little weaker. Like Cameron Johnson has actually played pretty well, but then Cameron Payne, Javon Carter, Frank Kaminsky, Langston Galloway. That's not a great bench, but their starters look good. They're in at number 5. At number 6, I have the Brooklyn Nets. Dinwiddie hurts them a lot, like a lot, because now it's replaced by Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. Fine player, not Spencer Dinwiddie, and due to now the defense can it's easier on the defense. So yeah, Nets fall to 6. Pacers would have gone up if it weren't for a TJ Warren injury, which I think it hasn't really hurt them thus far, but I think it will hurt them. So they stay at 7. The Jazz at 8. Have played great basketball, have played bad basketball, and due to the inconsistencies, I can't put them as high as some other places. But still, top 10, great team. 9, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't buy into their 2-0 start. I bought in now. This team looks amazing. The Sexton backcourt, great. They're in at number 9. The Hawks at 10. Would have been at number 9, but they lost to the Cavs. I know I didn't really consider that. The Pelicans and Suns. Maybe I should have, but I did for this one. So yeah, Cavaliers at 9, Hawks at 10. Moving on to 11 through 15, the Celtics at 11. I think they're practically tied with the Bucks. Both teams have played great games. Like the game against each other was a great game. Then they also go and lose to the Detroit Pistons or the New York Knicks. Like the inconsistency here knocks them out of the top 10, both dropping 7 spots from last week. The Portland Trailblazers and Houston Rockets, again, very even, as we saw from their game against each other. The C.J. McCollum, James Harden duel gets them both to rise up 6 spots, and they both look very good. The Blazers still, despite the only reason they lost was because Steph Curry scored 62 points. If Steph Curry doesn't score 62 points, I think the Blazers win. But yeah, that game doesn't matter for this. Yeah, they still look very good. Houston Rockets look very good, even without James Harden. Look very good. And the Dallas Mavericks at 15. As soon as Luka starts hitting threes, it's game over. It just is. Once Luka hits threes, Mavericks are just going to look unstoppable. They're going to win by 50 nightly. Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch. But still, they're in at 15. 16 to 20, Orlando Magic at 16. I just don't like this Magic team. I get they're 4-2. But their leading scorer is Terrence Ross, as of when I'm recording this. Terrence Ross. And they just lost to the Magic, whose best player in that game was Darius Bazley. Nothing against Darius Bazley, but that was their best player. But still, Terrence Ross can't really be your second scoring option, I don't think. Well, maybe he can be. They're 4-2 with him as their number 1 scoring option. I said number 2 there because I do like Vucevic. I like Vucevic a lot, scoring 30 and 13 against the Thunder. But yeah, they're in here at 16. I just don't like the way that the Magic team is built. I do like pieces of the Magic team. Like, I love Fultz and Anthony. I love Vucevic. I love Gordon. But I don't like how it's come together. I get a bad feeling about the Magic. They're in at 16. 17, the Kings. I really like the Kings. Looking pretty good. They've won some close games, beat some good teams. They're in at 17. And the Knicks at 18 have beaten a very good team in the Bucks, destroyed a good team in the Bucks, have also lost some bad games. But they rise all the way up from 30th into the 18th as a playoff team. The worst playoff team, maybe, but a playoff team. 19, the Spurs, inconsistent. That's same with the Jazz, except for they inconsistently lose. Well, they inconsistently win. They consistently kind of lose. Anyway, they have a losing record, and the inconsistencies are just, I can't put him any higher. I love Jamar. I feel bad for the guy, but yeah, he and the Spurs are in at 19, and then the Heat. Talk about inconsistencies. Yeah, the Miami Heat are 20 until Jimmy Butler. I get they're probably exhausted still, but they need to get their stuff together. It's not looking great from the East champions. At 21st, I have the Warriors, who have started to pick things up. Again, not talking about the game against last night, but this last week have started to pick things up, including the game against the Bulls, and then the game after that when they were finally at full health. Didn't go so well against the Blazers, but yeah, the game on Friday against the Blazers didn't go as well, but they did get their revenge, and I wonder because Damian Lillard tweeted like if you can't, like, you got to dish it out and take it, yeah, because he scored 34 points against the Blazers or against the Warriors, but yeah, the Warriors have looked better. Still nothing great yet because I can't include this last Trailblazers game, but yeah, they're in at 21. The Nuggets at 22, just because like they're one game away from making it all click, I believe, and just exploding, moving into the top 15. But they're not there yet, so they're at 22. Memphis Grizzlies would have been 22nd, but a certain Mr. Morant got injured, so they're at 23rd. Timberwolves haven't looked good. Granted, it has been without Cat for the most part this year, but still aren't looking too great. I got to take that into account. They're at 24, and then finally the Bulls at 25 for this 5 set. Have looked decent. Zach LaVine playing amazing. Hoping for a more consistent play from Markkanen as he can go from scoring 17 to scoring 7. Yeah, those 10 points could help you win games. So I know he would like to score those extra 10 points, but yeah, the inconsistencies from Markkanen put them lower than maybe those two ahead of them. And then finally the bottom 5. Starting off at 26, the Charlotte Hornets. Their starting 5 is actually playing very well with Rozier and Hayward specifically, and LaMelo Ball playing very well. Devontae Graham kind of gets overlooked, racking in all those assists, but yeah, they move up 2 spots. The Oklahoma City Thunder at 27, great game against the Magic. Other than that, haven't been great, but no one expected them to be great. But they're in at 27, 2 spots ahead of where I thought they were going to end up being, but 1 spot lower from last week. 28th, the Washington Wizards. Yeah, I think they are this bad. They look this bad right now. I kind of touched them already, so we'll go ahead and move on to 29, the Toronto Raptors. Another team I could have put in most disappointing, but yeah, they're in at 29th just due to the fact that I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know how to fix it. I should probably try and watch as much as I can of Toronto Raptors because I haven't watched too much. But I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what it is. Their team is very similar. Yes, they're missing a Bach and Gasol, but were Bach and Gasol that important? Well, apparently yes. But yeah, they're at 29th. And the Detroit Pistons at 30th. Don't really think I need to go into too much talking there. They suck. But thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I'll see you in the next video. Adios.